Hello, this is AstrologerCoach Sonja Francis, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming full moon in almost 15 degrees of Leo, which will be exact February 3rd at 6:09 p.m. East Coast time in the US, which is also New York time, or 3:09 p.m. Pacific time, which is also LA time. Before we get started, I just want to say these glasses are not a fashion statement. I had an eye infection last week, so I'm wearing them for protection. And so I hope they're not going to be too distractive, but it just helps me right now to wear those. So let's go back to the full moon. The full moon is always about balance. We're looking for balance in some way. 2 weeks ago, we had the new moon in Aquarius, and now we need to find a balance to that energy, which is the Leo energy. And so this usually has to do with that we want to work something through in our relationships to find that balance, or we're also sometimes trying to find the balance within ourselves. But very often we're working through it in an extroverted way with other people. Now, what is the balance between Aquarius and Leo? So the Aquarian energy, like we talked 2 weeks ago already, has to do with, we have a unique vision and a unique approach to life. We have something that we want for the whole world. The classic vision of Aquarian is that of an interconnected equality for everybody. And so it's all about the human family. It's about no matter where you come from, no matter what you believe in, no matter what gender you were born into, no matter who you're attracted to, you are all part of the human family. And that's when we come together as such, there's really a huge power of collaboration that can begin, and the whole becomes really greater than the sum of its parts. And that's where really the power lies, that we can do so much more, exponentially speaking, together than we can do on our own. However, of course, the Leo energy, which is all about individual self-expression and creativity, that really wants us to get connected to our own heart. It wants us to get connected to our own inner joy and really express this spark in us, this light in us that we have, this unique thing that comes out of us, this unique energy, unique creation in us, right? Now, the balance between the Aquarian energy and the Leo energy would really be bringing a focus to the power that we all hold as individuals and as members of the human race, and expressing this unique individual spark that we have and contributing in that way to humanity by sharing that and not by hiding it from other people, right? So huge shifts can really occur for all of us when we're able to join forces and bring each of our uniqueness to the game and to this joint force, and really co-create a new and better world together. And it has to happen from an equal place. It has to happen from a place of equality, that we're all the same, right? That no one is better than somebody else. Now, this full moon, of course, brings up an interesting question, which is, what if our hearts already know a very different way of thinking, seeing, and doing things? And where might that different way take us? If we're able to really connect to that, where can we go as a society, as a world, as a people, right? Now, the moon aligns with Jupiter in Leo, which means that there's really an emphasis on authentic feelings about life. Like, how do we really feel about things? Because Jupiter brings sort of like an expansion to that moon energy. And it seems really especially important for us to bring joy and playfulness to the table right now, and to not ignore what brings us joy and what brings us this sense of lightness into our lives, right? Now, the moon is also a focal point of a yod, which is also called the finger of God, because there's two planets pointing towards the moon right now. And so this is saying, it's sort of like pointing the finger towards the moon, saying like, pay special attention to your feelings and needs. What do you feel? What do you need? Bring conscious awareness towards how you respond to the world. Questions that you can ask yourself with this yod is, what brings you joy in life? Where do you feel most alive and energized? What if you shared your heart's desire? And most importantly, what if you took a risk and shared it full out? What if you didn't hold back, right? And very often we're a little bit scared about sharing full out or doing things full out because we're scared that maybe other people won't respect us or won't accept us or they'll get scared of us or whatever the fear may be, right? So what if we took a risk and just did it? What might happen then? Now Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius, is also something we want to talk about because it's very important in this full moon chart as well. So not only is Uranus still in a tight square with Pluto, it is also part of a Grand Trine in the fire element. It's a white Grand Trine given, yes, but it's still a Grand Trine and we're feeling that fiery energy. So this gives us the ability both to think outside the box with Uranus being in Aries, to make realistic plans with Saturn being in Sagittarius, and also to really connect to our hearts because that's Jupiter and the moon in Leo is wanting us to connect to our hearts. So this really provides a tremendous support for our pursuit of freedom, equality, and progress. So this is really important as well because this Grand Trine is a hugely energizing combination. It's the fire element, so we're energized on a physical level and on a spirit level, we feel very enthusiastic as well. So we're really able to create clear goals right now with this Grand Trine, and especially around authentic self-expression. And it really supports us to let our inner spark fly really high and express that full out and not to be afraid so much that other people might not accept us for it, right? Now, the other thing that's happening with this full moon too is that Mercury is still retrograde in Aquarius. And I talked about that a little bit 2 weeks ago already in the new moon video. But with the Mercury retrograde, we're really being invited to revisit our visions for life. And especially look back to see what has occurred for us in the last 3 months. What visions did we have about life in the last 3 months? And to tap more into these visions now from an intuitive way, more internal way, right? To go within, it's retrograde, right? Mercury's retrograde, which means to go within and to kind of allow ourselves to marinate internally with what this is all about. What is this vision all about? Now, questions you can ask yourself with the Mercury retrograde right now is, what aligns in regards to our vision? What has shifted since these past 3 months? Is the inner aligned with the outer? What we're experiencing right now on an inner level, is that still connected to what's happening outside of us, in the outside world? And then if it is or if it isn't, what lies between us and real change? Because if this is not aligned, the inner and the outer, something needs to shift, something needs to change. And the question is, what holds us back from making that happen, right? So there's really an investigative process that can happen with the Mercury retrograde where we can really get to the bottom of what is that vision and how can we make these changes that we really want to be making, right? So just sit with all these questions if you can. Now, there is a lot of planets in Pisces at the time of the full moon as well, and this is something we definitely need to talk about, because this really reminds us that we're all in this together, that there is no separation between us, nature, and everything that is alive, all the living beings and things out there. We need to recognize that everything is interconnected and that there is inherent divinity in all things, that everything is perfect as it is. Everything has its place. Everything has its validity. And so it really comes down to this, that with the Pisces energy, and especially also with Chiron being in Pisces right now as well, it's all about love and forgiveness. Because Pisces is about divine love, divine creativity. Chiron in Pisces is about forgiveness. It's about a higher understanding of the trust that everything is perfect as it is, that everything has its place, has its divine timing, right? So it's really, I would say, you could say the medicine our world needs right now is love and forgiveness, right? So the message for this full moon becomes pretty clear, which is that beauty and joy becomes possible when we work with, not against each other. So it's really important that we're using this Aquarian component, that we're using that Leo component and that Pisces component, and bring it all together by creating beauty and joy through really collaborating and working with each other in a humanitarian way, right? So one last question you can ask yourself is, where are you being called to share and shine your light? Because that's really all that the Leo Aquarius balance is all about. Shine your light and share it with other people. Share it with the world. Now, if you have any personal planets or personal points anywhere between 12 and 17 degrees of Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio, then you're definitely going to feel the effects of this full moon more strongly. But also for those of us who don't have personal planets and points in those degrees, you know, somewhere in your natal chart, in your birth chart, this full moon is falling into one of your house placements in an area of your life. So this is just equally as important to see what area of your life is most affected by this full moon. Take a look at that. If you don't know how to do that in your birth chart with your natal chart, feel free to watch my video called How to Read Your Birth Chart. You can either find that on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, or you can find it also on my website. If you go to Astrology Forecast for 2015, there's a tab that says Astrology Videos. If you click on that tab, you should be able to find that video. If you can't find that video for some reason, feel free to reach out to us by emailing us at info@astrologercoach.com. That's info@astrologercoach.com. And just write recording in the subject line, and then my assistant Anna will send you a recording of this video with some handouts as well that are connected to that, okay, to that class. Now, feel free to always stay connected via my weekly forecasts that I have and my daily forecasts that I have on Twitter, on my Facebook fan page. You will find the links to both of those below this video. And one last thing, I would just want to make a quick announcement, which is that I will be doing 2 in-person workshops within the next 6 months. One of them will be in Sedona, just like last year. It will be a 4-day retreat together with the amazing energy healer and rock whisperer, Krista Mitchell. The other one will be a workshop in New York City. So if you live in New York, stay tuned. I will be making further announcements about this weekend workshop. It will be a 2-day workshop just with me, and I will be talking in more detail about these in-person appearances in the next several weeks in my next couple of videos. So stay tuned and pay attention to what the dates are and what the early bird specials are all about. All right. If you have any questions about the full moon, feel free to reach out to me at Sonja@astrologercoach.com. That's SONJA@astrologercoach.com. If it's a general question, a general astrological question, I'm always happy to answer those via email right away. If you do have a personal question that requires for me to pull up a birth chart for you, I will ask you to book a reading on my website, because that gets too time consuming for me to do within 5 or 10 minutes. But if it's a general question, I'm happy to answer it real quick. And then also you can go to my website at astrologercoach.com, to my services page, and just look to see what's available there. I have all different types of readings, anywhere between 25-minute readings to 2-hour meetings. And you can get all types of things from these readings. So look to see what resonates with you and what's in alignment with you, and then just add those to your cart, and then also fill out the online form that's on the very bottom of that same page, that services page, because that helps me to book readings with you and to prepare your chart for the reading. Okay, so have a fantastic full moon. It's an extroverted time. It's a time where we're connecting with other people full out. We're expressing our feelings, expressing what our heart desires and what our heart's desire is. Have fun with that, and I will be back in about 2 weeks from now, hopefully with good eyes again and no infection and no glasses. All right, have a good one. This is Astrologer Coach Sonja Francis. Goodbye.